All I have to say to people who don't like The Dark Knight, does it depress you to know just how alone you truly are? Hey guys, how's everybody doing? And welcome back to the Christopher Nolan review series with probably his most popular movie today. The Dark Knight is what really opened up to the doors of new DC and superhero movies where the Batman Begins was such a great origin story, and so they made another movie, of course, because how much money and the well received that it was. But after this movie came out, it really just blew the doors open. It's like, this is how you do a comic book movie. This is how you do a superhero movie. This literally changed the comic book genre like forever. Almost every DC movie that you see, this I've actually seen interviews from the MCU people that said that this movie actually influenced them to write a lot of their movies, which I don't blame them. This movie's that fucking good. The Dark Knight is a very special movie to me. I'll talk about more of it when I get to the sequel, but this and its sequel were two movies that I loved watching growing up. These were probably, and another movie actually, were some of the movies that I just watch constantly. I am surprised that the discs that I own have not burnt up from how much I watch them. I have watched The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises back to back so many fucking times. I am baffled how those discs did not like fry up. But with that being said, I'll finally shut up and give you my thoughts on The Dark Knight. My positives on The Dark Knight is like that whole opening sequence when it's just like a simple bank robbery. But what it really falls into my negatives is not just how great of a scene it is, but what I like how like in the opening sequence you see a bunch of people wearing a bunch of clown masks. They're talking about the Joker and all that. They're kind of like talking shit about him basically, like why is he wearing makeup? Why is he him the way he is and all that? And then it focuses on this one person wearing a clown mask and like doing all these weird things, walking around and looking at people and all that. It really focuses on him, and you're like, there's something off about that guy. I don't know what it is, but there's just something off. And then after everybody else dies, he's the only one standing, and then he goes up to the guy and puts like the fake grenade in his mouth, takes off the mask, and it shows that he's the Joker and all that. I love that whole opening sequence. It's one of my favorite sequences growing up, and it's the scene that I really looked up to for some reason. Every time I thought of a great opening sequence, The Dark Knight was in that conversation where I went, that's a great opening sequence." And it just shows that an opening sequence to a movie can just show you what to expect throughout the entire film of what you're about to witness. Somebody that we all have talked about, even if you don't like this movie for some reason. I think everybody can agree that Heath Ledger in this movie is by far the best part about this movie, where Heath Ledger originally wasn't really offered the part, but Christopher Nolan thought that he would do a good job, and especially all the dedication Heath Ledger's had to this character, where he literally locked himself up in a hotel room, let nobody in, and he sanctuaried himself for a month straight, where he had like this book, like a journal, with disturbing images and disturbing like quotes and all that, and he looked through that and he like studied it, tried to get like into the character, make like feel like the character. And he read a bunch of comic books about the Joker. He read almost every comic book with the Joker in it, and he studied his voice. Like he tried to get the voice right. He acted like him, like even off camera, like he would walk and talk like him and all that, just so he would stay in character and all that. And then I've actually seen people here when I heard people actually when this movie was first coming out, when they heard that Heath Ledger of all people was cast as the Joker, a lot of people actually went, oh, "He's a great actor. I don't think he could pull it off." But nowadays, that's really funny to say. He is a great Joker. All the dedication that he's put into this character. Every time he is on screen, he is by far the best part. Even when you hear him throughout this movie, it doesn't even sound like Heath Ledger. It sounds like a whole different person. Sure, it may look like him, but it's not Joker. Like, oh Jesus, it's not Heath Ledger. That is not Heath Ledger. Like, you can hardly even hear his voice. All you hear is Joker. Yeah, sure, he looks like him, but all you hear is just the Joker. Heath Ledger, to me, is by far the best Joker. Sure, Jack Nicholson was great. Jared Leto, not so much, though. Heath Ledger is phenomenal. And to me, Joaquin Phoenix is the only man to be the best Joker since Heath Ledger. Not the best by all means, but he's doing good. But it pains me to hear that he actually passed away before this movie came out, which is a whole story where apparently since he was studying so much on the Joker, he was only getting 2 hours of sleep a night, which is not very good for you. So he started to take sleeping pills, but they didn't start to help, and he also had something going on with him at the time. I don't know what it was, but he would also take these pills to kind of like help it. But what the thing was, he mixed the sleeping pills and those pills together, which you should never do, by the way. And those drugs sadly killed him. And a lot of people say that the Joker character is what killed him. Maybe people theorize that the dedication and all the work that he had to the character is what killed him, but I would disagree with that. But Heath Ledger as the Joker is the stuff of legend. Everybody looks at Heath Ledger as the Joker now, and he was such a talented actor. The amount of dedication that he had to the character was just amazing. We will all miss Heath Ledger, and dislike this movie or not, you can't deny that Heath Ledger is the best part about this movie. Like this Batsuit in this movie. Yeah, sure, the Batsuit in Batman Begins was pretty cool, but to me, I think this is the only Batman movie where it kind of acknowledged, like, the cowl, like, where you can't move, you have to go. Like, I don't care for it, maybe, but it's never really bothered me much. But this is the only Batman movie where it really acknowledges it. A lot of people like criticize the Tim Burton's Batman movies and the two like Batman Forever and Batman Robin movies, where like the cowl and all that, and yeah, you got your answer where he can actually move his neck and actually fight more. I also just really like the look of this Batsuit. To me, this is like my favorite Batsuit out there. Ben Affleck might get there though. Batfleck, sorry, but I really like this new Batsuit. It's an upgrade from the first Batman suit that we get from Batman Begins. To me, it's also just really cool to look at, especially when we first see it in action when he takes the Lao guy go back to America, which yes is kidnapping by the way. I really like that. It's a very awesome scene where you first see it in action where he's gliding around a building in Tokyo and then he crashes through a building and then you finally get to see that in action. That's a very cool scene. Almost every scene with that batsuit is just wow. Could be more like a mixed aspect for a lot of people, but to me it's never really bothered me much. Is every Joker scene. Yes, a lot of people say that The Dark Knight is just Joker's movie, which I guess I mean, yeah, he's in it more than Batman at sometimes. But could you really be mad at it? Joker is the best part about this movie. We can all acknowledge that. All the Joker scenes in this movie are awesome, from the beginning to the pencil trick scene to like you want to know how I got these scars scene to where he crashes Bruce Wayne's like campaign for Harvey Dent. Every Joker scene in this movie is absolutely iconic. It's every scene to me just topples the next, and it's just awesome. Heath Ledger, I already talked about him. He steals the show throughout like those entire scenes. Like I feel some of those scenes were just like were added to the script once they casted Heath Ledger because they saw how great of an actor he was as the Joker. So they were like, oh shit, Heath Ledger's so great. We gotta have these awesome scenes. Hurry up, quick. Hold on, everybody. I feel that's what they actually did. They saw how great Heath Ledger was, and they had to add some new scenes for him. Heath Ledger and all those Joker scenes are just amazing. Every Joker scene is great, and the amount of like improvising that I did, especially like that campaign scene where he's just eating the chairs and drinking champagne and all that, were very improvised, especially like when he's blowing up the hospital, where they actually blew up a fucking hospital. I'm still baffled by that. Like, how the fuck did you blow up an actual hospital? Where when they were blowing up, some of the bombs didn't go off at the time, and they were just waiting for it. So Heath Ledger decided to improvise, and so it wouldn't look stupid. So he would press the button more and like do this to get it to make it look like, come on, work. And then like when it started to go off, that was legit. Like Heath Ledger's jumping, like, oh shit. The amount of dedication Heath Ledger had and all the improvised scenes and all those scenes were just phenomenal. A lot of people don't really acknowledge this much is that's Aaron Eckhart. To me, Eckhart is really good as Harvey Dent and Two-Face. Where I understand why he's not talked about much because everybody oh god, excuse me, praises Heath Ledger's Joker, which I'm not hating on you for. I don't blame you, but Eckhart, he's also really good in this movie. I'm a bit surprised that he didn't win an Oscar that year because he was awesome in this movie. Yeah, sure, he's not the same quality as Heath Ledger's Joker. I don't think he's even better than Heath Ledger's Joker. But I feel that he doesn't get acknowledged much. And when I watch a lot of people's reviews, they just kind of like shelf him like he's like an old recipe that they figured out how to make. I'm sitting there like, why are you guys not talking about him? He's so good in this movie. He's one of the best parts about that. Sure, Heath Ledger's the best part about the movie, but Aaron Eckhart, he's fucking awesome. I love what he does with Harvey Dent this movie. I love his version of Two Face, where he actually plays fair, where he flips the coin and he's like, "Well, you get to live another day" and all that. I like Aaron Eckhart as Two Face and Harvey Dent. Yeah, sure, he's not in the movie much, but what he does do, he's an awesome actor. And it's a shame that we don't get to see him much in other movies because nobody talks about him anymore. He's such a great actor, and I'm baffled that nobody talks about him anymore. And it's a shame that nobody talks about him in this movie. And for my final positive is that I think the action in this movie is awesome. I think the action in this movie is really good. Yeah, sure, some of the fight scenes aren't great. It's just I think the action is really good in this movie, especially like the explosions, like the fighting between Joker and Batman and all that. Especially that interrogation scene where it's just slamming him on the table and interrogating him. Yes, it's basically an action scene. It's a lot of tenseness going on. I feel the action is a little bit better than Batman Begins, but I will agree. I won't disagree with you if you say the action in Batman Begins is better. I think the action in this movie is really good. I'm on the edge of my seat every time I see the action in this movie. It's just, it's action. What else do you want? On to my mixed aspects, and that's Maggie Gyllenhaal, where Katie Holmes is the person who originally played Rachel Dawes in Batman Begins, which I don't understand why people hate on her. Why? She's a amazing actress in that movie. And then they replaced her at the time, and I didn't know why, but I actually looked it up and looked at interviews. She said that she had nothing against Christopher Nolan or the Dark Knight trilogy, but at the time she was looking to do something different, which is fine. Like she wanted to do stuff at the time, but if anything, wait. I mean Maggie, she does fine in the role. It's nothing against her performance, but against everybody else, she's by far the weakest in my mind. She does fine, but to me, Katie Holmes is just way better, and I don't feel any romantic chemistry between Christian Bale and her, because I actually felt something between Katie Holmes and Kristen Bale in Batman Begins, but in here, I'm just sitting there like, oh, these two are supposed to be like loving each other. Oh, cool. I don't feel anything. I'm not lying. I don't feel any romantic chemistry between them. I felt more romantic chemistry between Katie Holmes. I don't understand why people hate on her. I still don't. Maggie McGyllenhaal, she does fine. I'm not bashing on her for her performance. I'm not bashing on her as a person, but I don't care for her as Rachel Dawes, and her performance as Rachel Dawes is fine. I just eh. Moving on to my negatives. Now, I only have one, and this is 1,000,000, 1,000, 2,000,000% a nitpick. Is at the end of the movie where Batman saves Jane Gordon's son, but kills Harvey Dent. That's not my nitpick. It's where at the end of the movie he says that they don't want people to find out that Harvey killed 5 people. Two of them were police officers, and then Batman just goes, "It was me. Tell people it was me." And I go, "Are you fucking serious?" And a city of millions. Let's add in the fact where people basically die every day in Gotham City. You're thinking that millions of people are going to be going up like, who killed these people? I demand to know. The Joker did it. I feel people don't acknowledge that. I don't understand why. And instead of saying the Batman did it, say fucking Joker did it. I get it. It's supposed to lead up to the Dark Knight Rises where people don't like Batman and they're on the fence about him on the end. I get it. That's what the ending is supposed to be. But if you're gonna say that Batman is the person that killed those people, No. Say the Joker did it. You think a millions of people in the city are gonna go, who killed these people? I demand the no. No. You say the fucking Joker did it, and maybe we wouldn't have this issue with The Dark Knight Rises. I'm sorry, I don't understand why people don't acknowledge that. Maybe people are just like, oh, because it leads up to The Dark Knight Rises, it's fine. I get that. If you just had the Joker, Batman would still be a hero to the city. I'm sorry. I've always noticed that, and it's always pissed me off every time I rewatch this movie. Well, guys, it's a terrific Batman movie. It's a terrific comic book movie. It's a terrific movie in general. It's one of my favorite movies ever made. It's a movie that you must watch. It's a must-watch movie for all comic book fans and all Christopher Nolan fans. That if you are one out of four people who haven't watched this movie, please do yourself the pleasure and go out and buy it. You guys think about The Dark Knight? Is this one of your favorite movies? Is this one of your favorite Batman movies? Or for some reason do you not like this movie? If you don't like it, please let me know. But let me know what you guys thought about this movie in the comments below. And if you like this video, like it. If you love to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you will get notified for my latest videos. But until my next video, take care.